5 hours and 49 minutes. We've done it. First of all, you'd have to find a time of day where a connector cycle fits perfectly between two trains. Then you'd only have just over a minute to transfer between the platforms.
Walk fast? Seriously? What was I thinking? That's just called running.
Go, go, go!
In 1960, the first ever entry to the Tube Challenge was recognized by a tiny little reference book made by the same people that ran an iconic brewery. The challenge was very simple. Visit every London Underground station as fast as possible. 6 years later, across the pond, the first ever subway challenge took place in New York City. To date, both of these records have been broken dozens of times and have inspired attempts of other metro systems around the world, from Berlin to Delhi. Amidst this litany of record holders is one name that if you're watching his channel, you most definitely recognize. Jeff Marshall's greatest claim to fame is setting the world record for the Tube Challenge not once,
Twice!
but he's also performed similar records on other networks in London. These smaller records, not the original Tube Challenge, are the first examples I can recall of seeing a public transit speedrun. The concept has been around for quite some time, but only recently has it begun to be labeled as a speedrun.
Now obviously the word speedrun has its roots in gaming. And even though I don't play that many games, I am terminally online, sadly, so it doesn't take me too long to run into people speedrunning games, and talking about the idea of speedrunning as a whole. It's exploded in popularity so much that any game that you can think of probably has a speedrun performed of it. The growth of this genre has been aided by streaming services as well, where tons of fans can watch runners perform their runs in real time, as if you were watching a real athlete breaking a record on TV. I've always liked speedrunning and found it fascinating because it's the closest that you will ever see collaboration and competition meeting each other. You often see people with rich knowledge of games that come together to find exploits and break records, but ultimately, only one person can actually hold a record at a time. Well, not in transit speedruns. You can totally bring your friends along for those. Now, transit speedrunning seems like a very niche thing, or at least that term is still not widely used. I mean, if you look up Metro Speedrun on YouTube, you're not gonna get much of substance. But there are a couple pioneers of the modern era. First of all, there's Floppa, who used the term to describe their Washington Metro run, and while the record has since been shattered, the video still proved to be popular, amassing over 40,000 views. There's also Adham Fisher, who holds way too many records around the world for me to count. And of course there's Miles in Transit, who has a long-running Fastest Rider Alive series, which even includes a BART run at 6 hours and 9 minutes that was set in July 2021. As far as I can tell, this is the first speedrun of BART that was performed since the opening of Milpitas and Berryessa stations, which would have reset the record. Miles' record was beaten a year later by perennial Twitter foamer Hayden M16, who took advantage of a bus between the Antioch and Dublin branches to get a time of 6:04. I stumbled across this thread when I started preparing for my BART runs, and in it he left a crucial piece of information. He claimed that this route was not strictly optimal, which made me believe that sub 6 hours might be possible. Frequencies had been reduced from 15 to 20 minutes since his run, but it turns out that the bus he used was slowing him down. It's a great connection to get you between the two branches, but you still have to go back and get all the stations that you missed along the way. So when I was preparing to run BART for the first time in January, I decided to just forego that bus and do a full completion, as in riding the entire system without leaving, no using other modes of public transit to help you, like some other people do in their runs. Now you'd think that doing that would be faster, but BART's branches are so far apart that any buses between them would just be far too slow for their own good. At that point, you may as well just turn back at every terminal, and that is exactly what I did. Ultimately, I found this route from Antioch to Berryessa, scheduled to take 5 hours and 49 minutes, breaking the 6-hour barrier. I was convinced that there was no way to improve on this time. The route was just perfect in every way. Transfers had minimal wait time, there was no need to use any buses or other modes, and the most challenging part of the run, the Oakland Airport connector, had a quite forgiving window of 32 minutes to clear it. This was to be the gold standard. To confirm my theory, I went out and performed the run and achieved the time of 5:49. Exactly the same as the theoretical time. 2 months later though, a team of UC Berkeley grad students led by Horace the Local had their run of the exact same route approved. With some slightly better luck with train arrival times, their time came out to a 5:47, narrowly beating mine. Wait, what? Approved? What's going on? Well, as it turns out, this group wanted to comply with the very strict standards that Guinness imposed
for world records of transit systems. The thought of entertaining a Guinness record never crossed my mind, but Horace and friends were determined and went the extra mile to certify their run. As such, it was shared everywhere and made Bay Area news. While I don't like a lot of Guinness's practices, the idea of transit speedrunning would not have entered many people's minds if not for the effort that Horace put in. Now, if two different people, or I guess groups of people, came to the same conclusion on what the best route is without any collaboration between them, then surely this route has to be the best, right?
Clearly though, it's not the optimal route. The title of this video is 5:30, not 5:47. Where did 17 minutes of time save come from? Or I guess 19 if you want to stick to schedule times. Well, it's simple. Just do the 5:49 route in reverse. Because of the differing chain timings, the gains and losses at each transfer point all work out to a 19-minute gain overall. But there's a reason why this route is so difficult. You only get 20 minutes to clear the Oakland Airport connector. To recap, the OAK connector is a people mover that runs independently from the rest of BART. It takes around 18.5 minutes for it to dwell at Coliseum, travel to Oakland Airport, dwell there, and then come back. The trains arrive 6 to 7 minutes apart, so there are 3 distinct trains in service. To clear the connector, you must get off a mainline BART train at Coliseum, go upstairs to the OAK platforms, ride the connector in its entirety, then head back to the mainline platforms. Evidently, with only 20 minutes to clear the connector, you only have around a minute or two of wiggle room. You'd have to not only find a time of day where a cycle fits perfectly inside that 20-minute window, but also be prepared to run between the platforms on both ends. Katz and I knew that if we wanted this record, we'd have to thoroughly study the connector's arrival times and do some practice running up and down the stairs. So before we started full speedruns, we spent a week doing just that. We found a few arrival times per day that fit in between 2 Blue Line trains. The Blue Line arrives at Coliseum on an even 3, which is to say, minute 03, 23, and 43. So we'd have to find a connector that leaves Coliseum at an even 4 or 5. That is to say, 04, 05, 24, and so on. And then it would arrive back at Coliseum with just enough time for us to get the next Blue Line train. Once we did this, we head out and practiced. We would make sure to be at the very last door in the very last car. We counted how many steps were on the stairs, so we knew how many steps to skip. And if that's not enough, we perfected our clipper card reading motion while at running pace, because there are figure gates on your way between the platforms. Was it a little petty? Maybe. When a new speedrun world record is on the line, drastic measures must be taken. And needless to say, it was painful. Oh, you're kidding me. I don't have a good feeling about that at all. Next train in 6 minutes? Really? Wait, I think that's it right there. I think that's it, it's coming. Oh God, look at that. He's leaving, we're screwed. Just gotta wait. I guess we just have to wait. Even after all this preparation, something still wasn't adding up. Why were some trains right on time, even a little bit early in some cases, while others were a couple minutes late? Is it an automated people mover basically guaranteed to be on time? We didn't bother to think about it too much, and went straight for a couple attempts on Wednesday, May 15th. Our first attempt was going perfectly right up to Coliseum Station, where as we pulled in, we saw a people mover arriving. We pretty much had to go at full speed if we wanted to make it though. This could be bad.
This is really bad. Oh my God. Please don't tell me it leaves early, dude. It's fine. We have much. We have like 30 seconds. We're full sprinting.
We're full sprinting.
Yes.
I don't like this. I don't like this. I do not like this. Come on.
Wait.
I thought for sure we were gonna barely make it.
I thought we were gonna make it too.
Good things we didn't tap.
Yeah, I thought. Oh my God, bro, that'd be terrible.
We narrowly missed it. This run was over, thanks in part to that Blue Line train inbound being about half a minute late.
This is the train of shame.
Yes.
The train of defeat. For now. But we go again.
We then got the train back to Berryessa and tried again. We had around 40 minutes to kill. Remember, we can't just start a run whenever we want, we have to time it perfectly for OAK. So there are only a few valid runs per day. I think all parking lots have parking space things. I won. This is our second attempt of the day. We're back at Berryessa.
10:16.
After 2 hours ago, something not very pleasant happened.
You may be leaving Berryessa late, which is not good since we have a 2-minute connection at Bayfair.
We'll be fine.
Hopefully, yeah.
The doors are closing.
Please stand clear of the doors. Yeah.
And now you're supposed to close. If you didn't get a memo.
The doors are not closing.
Please do not stand clear of the doors.
Stand right in front of the doors. Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. The clock has hit 10:17.
Oh, here we go, here we go.
The doors are closing. We're starting 1 minute late.
It's okay.
And the clock starts now.
Our second attempt was also pretty much flawless up until Coliseum. But we got a huge helping hand from Bailey and Nimbus this time around.
Now
Walk across, walk across.
Bayfair.
Best thing about this train is it's got 8 cars that could save the run. Yep.
Instead of a 6-car train, our train inbound to Coliseum would have 8 cars. We'd be just that tiny little bit closer to the stairs. With a longer train set and train arriving at Coliseum on time, we were confident that this would be the run. But then...
I'm more worried about the return. Okay, this dictates everything. You're not gonna like this. You're not...
The run was dead, but we still wanted to investigate. So when it did come, we still rode it. We were trying everything frantically to save the run, but it was to no avail. Of course, if you missed the blue line from Coliseum, you could get the green line 10 minutes later, but that would not connect to the red line train to Millbrae. And that's a problem, because Millbrae is only served every 20 minutes, so it's quite important to not miss the red line. Doing so would add another 20 minutes to the runtime, which puts you at a 5:50 and behind the world record. The challenge with this record is that you can only really gain time in 20-minute increments, assuming you're using the same route every time. We tried everything, from a bus between San Bruno and Millbrae that skips SFO, to maybe fitting in a Caltrain trip, but no dice. Though on our way to Oakland Airport, we saw something that would change our planning for good. What exactly did we see? Well, it was more of what we didn't see. Remember how I said that there were 3 distinct trains in service on this line? Well, in that case, you'd expect to pass by 2 trains on your round trip. Not in our case though, we only saw 1, which must have meant that there were only 2 trains in service the whole time. How we didn't catch this earlier was baffling, but it was still a pivotal discovery. And as we returned to Coliseum, what showed up on the screen confirmed my theory, and Katz was in utter disbelief.
Wait, I told you! There's only 2 trains running, not 3. There are only 2 trains running on the connector.
If there were only 2 trains instead of 3, the schedule would surely have to be adjusted so that the headways are even. That would also explain why some trains showed up 2 to 3 minutes earlier or indeed later than anticipated. So I went back and gathered all my footage from the previous week of practice, and what I found was startling. The evidence lined up perfectly with my theory. Every third scheduled arrival was on time, whereas the other 2/3 of cases did not show up, instead having a train somewhere in between. So now, our options for performing runs were even more limited. We had to make sure we had to catch one of the scheduled arrivals that would actually show up, as in every third arrival, or try and figure out one of the new in-between arrivals. But still, we had our route at last, and on Saturday, May 18th, this happened.
Platform 2. 22 minutes, 46 seconds.
Stand clear of the doors. This is a blue line train to Dublin Pleasanton.
That was low, right?
We're at Dublin. It is 57 minutes in.
We got Dublin exactly on time.
Our next stop is Palisade. Palisade makes a transfer point for the Oakland Airport to Victor.
How much? We have probably 1 minute to reach. Go, 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 go.
Now moving in.
Oh my god, we did it! We did it! We did it! Well, we did half of it. Nothing more you can do except just pray.
Take the escalator. There's still no sign of the train. Not that train. This one. Look at that. Look at that. This is flawless execution right here. This is flawless execution.
Absolutely.
The doors will not open at Lake Merritt.
What?
Wait, when did we split?
Something's happening. Something's happening. I think we just stopped too early, maybe? I think, yeah, we stopped too early on the platform is my guess.
The doors are closing. Please stand clear of the doors. Now moving out. Powell Street. Street mission. This is a red line train. The doors are closing. Please
Now at
stand
this
clear
point,
of
you
the
would
doors.
think that things were going pretty fine. We cleared the hardest part of the run, and we were making good progress towards Millbrae, right? Yeah, of course there was going to be a delay. It was pretty much inevitable. But fortunately, it wasn't too bad. Though we still did slow down quite a bit between Colma and San Bruno, and in the end, we pulled into San Francisco Airport 5 minutes behind schedule. Now you'd think that this would be a death knell for the run, but it turns out that we were able to take advantage of a special feature of BART's Red Line service, in that it dwells at San Francisco Airport both times that it passes through it, to allow passengers with luggage to get onto the train, because it's the airport obviously, and also to allow the operator to go to the back of the train so they can turn it around to Millbrae. Because of those long dwell times, we were able to cut back on our lost time. In the end, the second time we left San Francisco Airport, we were only 1 minute late. And since the worst of the delay had pretty much subsided by the time we were heading north, we were able to keep that 1 minute behind schedule throughout all the way to Richmond. Even though it was still a 1 minute delay, we had plenty of time left on us because the turnaround time at Richmond is 8 minutes long, so that wouldn't have been a problem. At that point, I was starting to feel pretty good that the record was in the bag. Alright, we made it to Richmond. It is currently 4:11. We just have one more transfer at MacArthur and straight to Antioch, and we're done. 5:30, we're coming.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I just saw 4.
It's funny. It's okay, bro. Be careful, the stairs curve. The final transfer, MacArthur Station.
I don't care. We did it.
Thank you for your service, Red
Thank
Line.
you for your server, Red Line. We're on you for like literally 2.5 hours.
This This is the victory train.
This is Orinda. This is 447 at Orinda.
Now holding at
Oh God,
Pleasant Hill Contra Costa Center. This is a yellow line train.
That's all they say, or the orange line. It is a nice station, I told you.
Massive video.
There is the
First
E-boy.
experience on E-BART.
And one for the record books.
My first time on E-BART, like, oh.
We oversold it, but it's fine. They'll wait. They have to wait. Okay, I'm rolling. Oh. Please, please. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 5:30. 5:30.
Yellow line transfers to outboard.
God, oh my God.
That's a different one.
Good. We're still more than good. The record is 5:47. We are more than good. Okay. 5 hours and 30 minutes ago, we left Berryessa station, and we have. Yes? Come on. 5:30, 26. All BART stations in 5 hours, 30 minutes, and 26 seconds.
Let's go.
Let's go. 5:30, 26. The 5:30 run was complete with flying colors. The world record had been destroyed using a route that was thought to be impossible. Now, of course, someone could always try this route and get a little luckier with faster arrivals. The time save of this magnitude, at least in the current era, seems like a long shot. Regardless of standards, records, or centralization, transit speedrunning is still quite a thrilling challenge. Now, this is probably the last time I'm going to be running BART, at least for now, but regardless if the record is beaten, but rest assured I'll be hoping to run even more systems in the future. And when I do, I'll be sure to share them all right here on this channel. And there we go, that is my longest ever video complete. If you're still here at the end, thank you so much for checking it out. I really enjoyed putting it together, doing the run and all of that. And yeah, I'm starting to get back into an uploading schedule now. So hopefully you will start to see more content from me really soon as we get into the summer. I'm really excited. Cheers.